The first thing I wanted to do, because it's been drawing my attention to it, is this nice merchandise behind me.
Okay, I forgot all about that actually.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start it with that.
I thought I'd plug that straight in.
Okay, big up my pal James Musk, by the way, and he's not paid us to do this. I just said as a good friend I'd help him out. He's launched this brand, Hollowhead Threads. Around, I think he's launched it just before Christmas. So the back end basically of 2024. He's got these cargo pants, which are sick because you've got like the Velcro bit at the bottom so you can adjust them. You've got the bits at the side here so you can adjust them so you don't necessarily need a belt. You've got the hats. You've got loads of other, if you like sort of the brand Vans or like Wrangler or something like that, it's on that same sort of vibe. But I don't know if you can get a close up of these, but yeah, these are all handmade in the UK, in England. And yeah, man, the quality is unreal.
Nice.
So go and check them out, guys. And that is our first sort of promo sponsorship. So yeah, if there's anyone out there that wants to get their stuff featured on the pod, reach out to us. All the information's below, so just go in the description and give us a shout, and you can be plugged.
Move that bag
podcast.
there, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Hollowhead Threads, get to know.
There we go.
So yeah, that's a good little way of starting it. It'll be buzzing with that.
That's it. Of course, got to plug it in. So if you're going out to Las Vegas, make sure that you hit up VIP Vegas UK. We cover a concierge for entertainment purposes for anybody that's traveling from the UK to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
What do we cover, Steve?
We cover everything basically, from your limo transfer from the airport to all your VIP tables at the pools and nightclubs, gun ranges, helicopter tours. We do some dune buggies in the desert. So I mean, we're a one-stop shop. Below market rates online, so certain minimum spends you might see on the venue websites is here. Ours would be just below that. We give you the VIP experience, so you haven't got to queue up in lines outside. We're with you the whole trip, so we're just like the end of WhatsApp. So if you've got any add-on requests, anything else you want to add to that, Brunty?
Bro, it's such a nice little way to feel like that VIP. Like I say, skipping the queue, because I've been a client myself. Yeah. Skipping the queues, you get to be with your host. They'll have a little, you know what I mean, introduction of what they do and how it's all going to work out for the day or the night, depends on which one you've been on. You can hit them up on WhatsApp, even if it's outside of the whole VIP table area. If you want anything about a restaurant or a little club, a lounge, or a bar that you want to go to beforehand, the hosts out there are incredible for you. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the other part of it. Like, we're sort of with you the whole way. So it's like having your own personal VIP concierge at the end of on your phone. So that's cool. Yeah. So just reach out for that. We also offer like free upgrades as well, which I didn't mention. So yeah, you might book a certain table with us, but if there's a better option available and it's not being booked, and we can, put you in there free of charge.
I have a personal story of that, actually.
Here he goes. Give him the plug so you know that one.
When I went out there with my missus and his best friend and his missus, it was Omnia Nightclub on a Tuesday. Yeah. So it's not the most busiest night, right?
No, but I tell you, just for those that don't know, Omnia Nightclub is situated inside Caesar's Palace. So if you've watched The Hangover, that is the same hotel where this nightclub is.
And Omnia is the club to be.
It's one of the best in the world. I think it got rated either second or third in the world last year.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I mean, it's up there. It's got 3 different rooms. You've got the R&B hip hop room, the main room, and then you've got the terrace, which is overlooking the strip upstairs.
Chandelier ceiling. You know what I mean?
Omnia, Caesar's Palace, if you're watching this, we're going to start charging, because we're giving you free promo on that one.
All the traffic.
But we do a lot of business for you guys, so it's all good. Go on, Brunty, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was going to say, so we were, again, because it wasn't the most busiest of night, but that's what we wanted, because obviously the girls, it was their first time in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we had a nice balcony table overlooking like the moving chandelier in Omnia. I could see the DJ box. It was great for Instagram.
I plotted that one for you there.
You did, so, this is what I'm saying. You gave me that exclusive. Yeah. And the process is so easy. You make sure that you're arriving on time. So I think it was 10 p.m. we needed to be there for.
Nah, you didn't.
Was it 11?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually what we say is between sort of 11 and half 11,
something
ideally.
like that, yeah.
But obviously, if you're a bit later, again, if you book online direct with the venues, you need to be there. Otherwise, you lose your table.
Yes.
But if you book with us, then you can just WhatsApp us and say, "Hi guys, we're running a little bit late."
Yeah.
Within reason. I mean, you can't rock up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, even though we'll try our best to hold it for you still. But yeah, I mean,
yeah. So I literally then got a message to say, "Come at this time." Cool. Pre-drinking in the room. Everyone's looking fresh. Do you know what I mean?
Standard. Got it, bro.
And we were in Bellagio, so we only had to walk.
Next
10
door,
minutes?
basically. Yeah.
Which is quite nice. So didn't even have to queue up, hit up straight with one of your hosts. I don't know if you want me to say his name or not.
We'll probably save that for another, because we might get him on. So I want to do him
okay.
But for context, this is one of the hosts that works for us in Las Vegas. So at the moment, we're filming this from the UK. So we've got a UK-based team, we've got a Vegas-based team, and now recently we've got a team based in Dubai. So yeah, we do. We've got hosts on the ground to take care of you guys and when you need to.
We're everywhere. We're expanding.
But this story is before you come on board properly, Brunty. Now you're like you've headed up the podcast.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this story, but you would have, this was before you probably.
Like I said, I was a client. I'm such a Vegas enthusiast that I've used you guys for quite a few years now. But so then we get, obviously then through the security, all of that, get our stamp, then get straight to our table, pick which bottle that we've got. And about halfway through the night, I imagine it was either something that you did in the background. I don't know what, because obviously I'm drinking with my girl and my boy.
It's what we do, brother. This is what we do.
And they say, "Oh, we've got another table for you. You can leave this area if you want to, and we've got something better for you." I'm like, "Oh, okay then." So I, convince my team that I'm with, and we go right behind the DJ box. Now, let me tell you. Now knowing a little bit more about this business, this industry, if you were to get that table and pay the price that it is.
Yeah. Even on a Tuesday, you would have looking 8 to 10K minimum spend for that one.
Bro, it'd be way out of, especially our budget at that time.
It's big, especially for a Tuesday night. And I think there was only 4 of you, weren't there?
There's only 4 of us. Yeah.
Yeah. So
me, my girlfriend, my best friend, and his girlfriend at the time. So,
but
it's
again,
his fiance now.
But for that table, what did you actually originally pay, bro?
I think it was a grand.
A grand minimum spend, guys. You see what I'm saying?
So
can't say fairer than
this
that.
guy hooked us up, and I was panning, doing all the Instagram shots. We were literally within about 10 feet away from the DJ that night, and it was so sick till about 3 a.m. and then we were done. But I think that's them upgrades.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the upgrades are key.
Brother.
But that's the other thing as well, though. Like why I started it all, because like we actually care about people having a good time. And then, if it's like any business really, isn't it? If you provide a good service, they'll go back and tell their friends and family, and it will just grow from there. But we're in the business of creating once in a lifetime trips. So
this is it. We want you guys to have a good time. So.
Yeah, exactly that, bro. But anyway, without further ado, and without plugging the company too much, I know we've got it up there and like we've been talking about it for a while. Just check out the socials. All the links are below. Obviously, if you've got any questions, if you've got any stories, if you've got any topics that you want us to talk about, then please feel free to give us a shout.
Cool. So shall I go into the news of the week?
News of the week with Brunty. Go on, bro. Brunty Vegas.
Brunty Vegas.
Mate, it's a bold statement that you put that all over your social medias, Brunty Vegas.
Well, I am known as the Vegas guy.
But you are. That's what I mean. You are. He's the facts and figures, Mr. Brunty Vegas. So what have we got story-wise this week, brother?
First one is Wet Republic now has been replaced by Palm Tree Beach Club.
Oh, shit. Do you know what? That is crazy, because
that was so sick to see that happen.
Like when you speak to like just people that have been, say, once or twice, or anyone that's known about Vegas, right? And you said to him, "Do you know any pool parties out there?" Wet Republic's one of the ones they mentioned, because the brand is massive.
It's huge.
But now it's obviously coming to an end.
Yeah, I know. It's sad that that's going, but at the same time, do you know what I mean? For Palm Tree to be now a part of it all, it's going to be
Palm
so
Tree's
good.
been smashing it as well in Miami.
Yeah.
And Kygo, the DJ,
he's
behind it. So, I'm expecting good things, and not just that. Without putting a damper on it, I think Wet Republic's needed a bit of a revamp over the last few years. It's not had the traffic, and we've not had that much interest as what we did have in the early days.
I think it's because of some of the other pool parties where we've had AU Day Club with Resource World being, it's not really new now, but it was obviously very fresh, and Tower Beach Clubs now.
Years.
You know what I mean?
It's only been around for a couple of years.
And obviously now Fontaine Blues opened and they've got everything going on with them. So yeah, it's good that it had a bit of a refresh and a bit of a revamp.
Yeah. But yeah, that's mad. We'll see how that pans out. I'm being told that it's opening in May. So they're swerving March and April and then we'll be good to go from May. So we'll be taking bookings for Palm Tree Beach Club as from now, but from May onwards when you can actually be sat and go there to experience it.
Bro, I can't wait for pool party season.
Especially when it's so cold in the UK. Like, we're filming this right now and it's like, what is it? No, it's January.
4 degrees, something like that in January.
Yeah. It's like, it's not even, it feels like it's like zero out there.
Yeah, it feels colder.
But yeah, it is what it is. You got to take the rough with the smooth, ain't you, bro?
Yeah, bro.
We'll be back out soon, large and in charge.
I can't wait. Next one, I didn't actually know this until very recently, but Black Eyed Peas has cancelled their residency.
Wow.
Apparently it's due to current circumstances. And refunds are being issued, but I was thinking, Black Eyed Peas, man, they're huge. Why on earth would they cancel their residency?
Because didn't they started off with like, was it 4 band members or 3? And I know that one of them,
I thought it was 3.
One of them dipped out. But yeah, I think, you know, sometimes these residencies in Vegas get announced and then sort of the acts have a wake up call and they think, wow, it's Vegas. We need to have a massive stage show and we've got to make a presence. So that could have something to do with it, where they're not quite ready that side. So they have to either postpone it or cancel it because, you know, like the agreement they've got or whatever is not gonna work. But it happened recently as well with Adele, and Adele had to cancel hers at one point.
Yeah, there was. I think it was something that happened last year. Yeah, where she had to cancel part of her residency.
Yeah, I think Mariah Carey as well, because she got announced and then she had to either postpone it or cancel it. So it happens. It's that sort of thing. But I'm sure
it's the industry, man. And to be fair, just a little bit of a way that the residencies work. If you think about, if you're an artist and you could tour the whole of America, right? And that's going to cost you, obviously it's a whole business, but in terms of your own physical body, it's going to be your time, your effort, flights, hotels all the time. You know, you get to meet your fans in different states and that's fun. But from a business perspective, if you can land yourself and plant yourself in one spot and have everybody just flock to you. Yeah. Like I said on a previous episode, how much traffic goes through Harry Reid Airport.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just makes more sense. I can just plug it in here, do what I need to do for 6 months, and then either take the other 6 months off or tour other places around the world. So
yeah, and I suppose in another like way of looking at it, a lot of artists, it's like Vegas is the pinnacle. So like if you've not done a residency in Vegas or performed in Vegas, it's like that is on your to-do list. You know what I mean? Whoever you are, because like, you know, Vegas sees all the top artists,
and it's also your location as well, where you are on the strip, which hotel puts you up, or even if you're lucky enough to get into the Sphere. Do you know what I mean? In fact, just a little bit of a touch on that, I've been seeing recently that there's been a bit of a demand that people want more sort of up-to-date and popular artists to go into the Sphere. So it's been a lot more sort of old school or sort of legendary acts currently, and then like I think they had one MMA fight. They will do. I know that U2 launched it. They did the launch and that was good. Eagles.
And then recently there was that new guy who done like the big robot. I forgot the name of the actual headliner, but he was a DJ and he started up coming up with the graphics, and then it was mad. This was last month actually, December, and I think it was Ayana or something.
Yeah, I'd have to double check.
But either way, like they're starting to move in that direction with like having DJs and big performances there. But we have got a contract in place with the Sphere as well. So if anyone wants to go there, you know, and you fill out the inquiry form, put that on there, and we can give you some options for that as well.
I've got an unfortunately embarrassing story about the Sphere. I'll tell that
You're
another
joking?
time. I'll tell it another time.
Oh, no, you can't do that, Brunty, man. You got to tell the people. You got to give them what they want. Is it what? How embarrassing is it though?
It was a mess up on my part. So I'll give you the story now that I've mentioned it. But basically, I thought I'd booked in the show. Well, I had booked in the show, but I thought I'd booked it in for 9 o'clock.
Oh, right.
So this was still the same trip with me and my missus' best mate and fiance.
This was before we had an agreement in place with them anyway. So I get it. Yeah.
And
Otherwise, we could have just sorted.
I know, but like I said, this was a while ago, and so unfortunately, me thinking I've booked it for 9. Everyone's relaxed. Oh yeah, don't worry, we've got plenty of time. Again, go out for dinner, pre-drinks, going out to a nice show. She's doing her hair. I've got my jacket on. Like, we're all looking fresh. Do you know what I mean?
You have the textbook sunglasses on as well. Why are you not wearing them today, bro? We'll have to get them out for the next episode, I think.
Bro, the sun's not out. Do you know what I mean?
Jokes, man. But yeah, sorry, go on. So you ended up missing it then?
So yeah,
traffic.
Rocked up to the Sphere.
Vegas traffic's bad though, isn't it? This is the thing. You've got to sometimes set out, especially if you're going from one distance to the other, or in the Spheres, you go off the strip to get to the Sphere, but only I was going to say 10, 15 minutes usually.
The time that we went was also because now that the F1 is out in Vegas, has been there for 2 years now.
Yeah.
They've got, I think, a 10-year contract. So there's only 8 more to go. But between certain times of Vegas months, I'd say anywhere between sort of October up to about November. Yeah, between September to November. Because obviously they're getting ready for the race. So then the traffic is even
it's an
more
absolute
worse.
nightmare. I know, it's gridlocked, really. You can't get anywhere, especially on that race weekend. That's when it's worse. But even leading up to it is bad as well.
Yeah, I was going to say as well that even when we got to the Sphere, it's not really been that established in terms of the taxi ranks. Whereas when you go to the hotels in Vegas, they have everything's just so efficient.
Yeah.
Just everything, next taxi, next taxi, next taxi. They've got an Uber line, they've got the limos, they've got everything's just done. But at the Sphere, it's kind of like, where do I get one? And how can we'll drop you off somewhere over here. So we arrived, I'm thinking, this is looking a bit empty. Do you know what I mean?
You've gone on the wrong day.
Walk past 2 people, like 2 security guards, and we're like, mate, like, where's the gate that we need to go? Oh, it's gate E or whatever it was. Go up the stairs, and I was like, mate, this is empty. Like, this feels weird. Like, for Vegas,
it's probably only just open, yeah.
And so then one of the guys come up to us and say, can we help you? And I say, yeah, we're here for the show. Oh, what show? Oh, a postcard from Earth. I showed him my tickets and it said 19. What? So obviously instead of it being 9 o'clock, in my mind,
it's 7 o'clock.
9 o'clock, but it's 7 o'clock. So me being a muppet, but because I organised so much because of me being a Vegas guy, because I did everything else, planned everything perfectly, I'd clearly just a misjudgment on my character.
Moral of the story, guys, check your tickets for the times and don't be like Brunty.
Exactly.
Right, let's move on, bro. What we got?
Cool.
What else we got to pop in?
The last one I was just going to mention, as it really is the current trend, current topic, and it can affect Vegas in a way. Yeah, was that TikTok was banned in the US.
Oh, okay, yeah, for 24 hours.
For 24 hours.
Yeah,
everyone had a meltdown online.
Involved, didn't he? Yeah, it's pandemonium. But do you know what, mate? Without, I don't want to go off the subject, obviously, of what we're doing here, but I mean, I think it's quite a good thing that it should be maybe not banned completely, but I feel like, how good would it be if TikTok was only active, say, at the weekend? Because, do you get what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there, guys.
That's an idea.
Like, because I feel like too many, especially kids and that, are just getting drawn into it all during the week. And they've obviously got the capability of banning it and then opening it the next day, or just having it active from, say, Friday to Sunday or whatever, So, instead of having it available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where people can just lose their minds and scroll like zombies.
Waste their evenings as well. Yeah,
that could be an option. I'm not like Instagram's a little bit different because Instagram, you're portraying yourself on there and like it's more of a businessy sort of thing as well. And so for me, you put more everlasting content on Instagram, whereas TikTok, it's more flyby, just in the moment, any old shit goes up there. So that's what when it got locked off and reintroduced, that's what I initially thought. I was like, fucking hell, maybe they should they're just like moving pieces on the chessboard. Like if it's as easy as that, just literally lock it off and then lock it and then put it back on. Then maybe they should look at something like that. Maybe just like a part-time usage, but
because we have such a good little following on TikTok. It's
good
not little,
mate. It's like over. I think we've got about 340,000 followers now.
It's big.
With your help as well, we'll get that to 500,000 sooner rather than later. So give that a follow if you can, guys. At VIP Vegas UK on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. Facebook account's doing pretty well as well at the minute. But yeah, we'll be posting all of this stuff on there.
Yeah, mate. But yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that because I thought currently when there's so many other people, like I said, Vegas influencers and even just Vegas venues and hotels themselves use TikTok because it's the fast way of doing it. But I thought, how would that affect Vegas? Because it's such a huge social media platform. But yeah,
I was all for it, bro. Do you know what? The thing is, it sounds that way because obviously we've gone viral quite a few times on TikTok. Shout out to Tyler, by the way, our social media guy.
Yep,
he's been smashing it on there, and he's like I think our biggest video did I think it's 42 million hits we had on one of our TikToks.
Yeah.
And the second best is around about 20 million. And then another one we've done 16 million. So we've gone viral. And for us as a business, it's like brilliant.
It's great to see. Yeah.
But I do see the decline in society by having it too much. Like it's just
there's good things and bad things with social media, but obviously that's a whole other topic.
And that's what I said, it's going off topic. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah, like I said, it's back. So
it's back. Yeah.
So topics of this episode. First one I wanted to touch up on would be pool party or nightclub.
Okay.
Because
it's a big debate, mate. It's a big debate, that is. It's like, we could probably speak all day about that one. But I mean,
for me personally, the pool party, I think it's a better vibe. It's out in the sun all day.
Yeah.
You can get there like a little bit earlier. So you've got like the whole day out in the sun and that.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a little bit more, let's say you do go to the gym, you can actually sort of, do you know what I mean? Get yourself in your shorts and the shades and the sliders and whatever, and you can be looking good and you can feel proud, you know what I mean? Looking good at the pool party. But I'd say some of the downsides though of the pool party is the fact that your evening could just be gone.
That's what I was going to say, because when you said like pool, but what would you choose between pool party and nightclub? Be careful,
if you
guys.
Had to go,
if you die, but I mean,
the short time you might be there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's happened so many times, bro. Yeah, where I've had clients, they book the day, night, and then they don't actually, like you say, make the evening. So, you know, if you're a hardcore group and you're hardcore drinkers, then yeah, I'd say go for it. But if you're not big on drinking and stuff, because of the heat in Vegas and you mix that with alcohol, you can quite easily like deflate by the evening.
Make sure you eat, make sure you stay hydrated. Do you know what I mean? It's a space out thing. And especially if you book through us and you've got a day bed or a cabana or something like that, at least you got somewhere to chill, sit down.
Yeah.
You can, you know what I mean? Get some food. You can sip on the vodkas or whatever is your poison. And then you can get, do you know what I mean? Then you can get the waters in. But
yeah, because the thing is, especially through the summer months, I'm talking sort of like from mid-June to August, that's when you see a lot of people passing out because they don't stay hydrated.
Yeah.
And it's mainly girls, if I'm honest. It's not, the guys seem to, I don't know why that is. But yeah, it's mainly girls who just like pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's some of your goods and bads of the pool party? The only one I was going to mention as well is the fact that inside the actual pool area can get a bit disgusting at the end of the day.
That's the other thing I was going to say. Like, it's I mean, I love pool parties. It's hard to say because it depends what mood I'm in. I love nightclubs as well. It depends on which one you go to.
We'll move on to that as well.
I'm more like sort of like an R&B hip hop sort of guy, but I do appreciate a good house event as well.
It just gets the vibe up. You know what I mean? When you've got a couple of DJs playing their first sets and then when the main act comes on, everyone just rushes to that dance floor, bro.
I think like, I mean, Vegas pool parties are the best in the world. So it's like you'll struggle. Like I've just been in Dubai for the last sort of 2 months and the pool parties are not quite hitting the mark like Vegas are. Nah. And
I've never heard this actually before.
No, I told you. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's going to change because now they've got the gaming license and they're starting to be a little bit more relaxed over there, but it just doesn't go off like the Vegas pool parties do. So, I mean, that's something I would definitely recommend anyone that's coming to Vegas, definitely go to a pool party and check it out if you haven't already.
1,000%.
And like you say, like the vibe's sick, like you've got like all of them are open air and it's obviously, it pops off. They usually have massive DJs there. So yeah, I mean, it's hard. Like that debate is it depends to me what mood you're in, but you can't go wrong with either, especially in Vegas is what I'm saying.
If you had to choose which way round to do it, so let's say you're out in Vegas for a week.
Yeah.
So we can give a bit of the value to the audience. So if you're out there for a week and let's say you land on a Thursday.
Yeah.
the weekend's coming up, because you've then landed on that Thursday, you've got that Friday night, you've got that Saturday night.
Yeah.
Would you do a nightclub on the Friday and then a pool party like on the Saturday or Sunday? Or would you just go straight in with the Friday pool party and then give yourself a bit of a breather to then go wild on the Saturday?
Do you know what? That's a good question, Brunty. And I get that question a lot. Like we get that question a lot as a company. And it's one of those things where a lot of the time it's down to preference, and it's down to how much time you've got in Vegas, because sometimes people land on the Thursday, but they fly home on the Sunday. So then the way you mix things up is a little bit different. Or some people come on the Thursday and then they fly home on the Tuesday. So then that opens it a different way. But what we usually say is, don't do 2 back-to-backs back-to-back, if you get what I mean.
I've done it. It's
as in
hard.
to do 4 events on the trot like that, The other thing is if you, because it's a 10-hour flight from the UK, sometimes a lot of people land and they're so deflated from the flight that they don't really want to go to a pool. But then you get other guys that land and they're so up for it. They're like buzzing, they're in Vegas, so they want to hit the ground running.
Adrenaline's pumping, and you're just in Vegas. Like I said, the lights, everything. Like,
so it's one of them like where it's preference. And you know, because 99% of our clients are groups, it's like you sort of have to ask everyone in the group and come to a consensus.
That's a very fair point. You have to have an agreement, like you said, amongst your whole group. So then that's usually, and you, obviously with the stag do's and stuff, it's usually the best man not calling the shots, but organising it and booking everything with us. So I mean, if he just decided on his own front, right, we're going to go out on the first night, then pool party, then blah blah blah, the rest of the group might have like a concern about that. And obviously, the prices goes up per person. I was going to say as well, I was trying to point out that it's also down to the artists. If some of the big artists are not playing, if you wanted to go see, I don't know, someone like Tiesto, let's say, if he's not there on that weekend or that day, you're like, oh, I've got to now switch it to this because I want to see Tiesto on this day, and then I've got to see Calvin Harris another day. Oh, I guess we're just gonna have to put them both in. But
do you know what? That's a good point as well, right? Because we get that a lot. So when people pre-book, especially if people want to get things like locked in a few months before they travel, what we say, and this is different to how, you know, when you book with the venues as well, if we get an itinerary lined up with you and we book stuff in, if closer to the time certain acts get announced, we can usually move your bookings like for like and free of charge to the new venue. Nice. So, and obviously if you paid online with, I don't know, say, I don't want to say any venues actually.
No, but one of
you
the
get what I mean?
Yeah,
if you paid with a venue, they'd probably decide to keep the deposit or the full balance because there's no refunds. So that's another thing to watch out for. But on the whole, we'll do that like for like free of charge. But the other thing I would say is, don't be fooled by the events with the big artists, because it's not always about the act. It's not always about who's performing, who's DJing. Sometimes it's more, this event is sick because it's been sick for the last 10 years. This is where you want to go on this day, regardless of who's performing.
Because the locations are good, the staff are good, do you know what I mean? And then usually they just run it so smoothly that you have a good time regardless. And to be honest, once you've had a couple, like it doesn't matter who's on to a degree, do you know what I mean? Like you're just,
because the amount of time
you're with your boys, you're chatting to girls, you're dancing, whatever, like, do you know what I mean?
I've booked guys in before and they've done sort of like 20k minimum spend at a Calvin Harris event, and I speak to him the next day. I'm like, how'd you get on, lads? And they were like, mate, it was sick, but we didn't even know Calvin Harris was performing. We didn't even see him. He was that lit, like we didn't know what was going on. So they could have gone to another night just as good, and probably the minimum spend would have been a lot less. So you just bear that in mind, guys. You know, when you're making your reservations and you know you're trying to decide on what itinerary to go with, it's not necessarily all about the act.
No, that's true.
But
then nightclubs then. For me, I'd say it's the fact that it's your evening. So you've got the whole day to either do an activity, you can chill.
Yeah.
Get your pre-drinks in. Again, you're getting dressed up and all that. You can go to a bar beforehand. The aesthetics of the club are beautiful as well. A nightclub is a different vibe, but when you've got everyone's focused attention is on the act when they come on. Do you know what I mean? But some of the downsides, though, I'd say is obviously that if you've been drinking all day or whatever, you've got to last that night as well, similar to the whole pool party fiasco.
Yeah.
But also it's a kind of a one in, one out situation on the dance floor, because I've had it before when I've been at the table being like, yeah, we want to go out and get into the dance floor. But because it's more catered for tables in terms of the venues, if you go on that dance floor and then if you've got your drink or you need to go get another drink or go to the bathroom or whatever, it's hard to then get back in with your friends. This is what I'm saying, Brunt. You know what I mean? Like with that sort of thing, what we generally do is we'll allocate like a security to that table, and then if you want to go and have a little boogie, he'll escort you to the dance floor and then escort you back. So that's the other thing to bearing in mind if you want to do that. Most people that we book in, like they just prefer to stay at their table and then have their own party there, bring girls over, which we can do as well if you need to be. We'll just send girls over. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. But I enjoy the nightclubs. I think when we do the bottle shows and stuff like that and the presentations, they work better in the clubs. Like the pool parties, they're still good. Like obviously you've got girls coming out in this skimpy thing, but they'll bring like a random act, like they'll have a huge thing that someone's riding on or whatever, and then these huge signs.
No, but they do that in the beach clubs. What I'm saying is that like, when you do it in the club, it's like, it lights up the club, so the focus is on you and everyone's like, wow, and it's, you know, it's a bit more of a show. Whereas if you do the show in the beach club, everyone's doing their own thing because it's so bright, it's not as intense, and it's not as but some people prefer that. Some people don't want to be like showy and also, the center of attention.
Also, if you've got your name on like the big screen as well, that's really cool when you guys do that.
We do all that stuff. That's another thing that we, you know, a lot of the time we throw in. Usually the minimum spend has to be a certain level to get the big displays and the walk-ins or whatever. But yeah, I mean, everything's doable, as you know. Everything's everything can be done.
I was going to say as well, from a outfit perspective, like at a pool party or a nightclub, would you say yes, wear like designer brands, it, you know, go big, it's dressed to impress, or would you say nah, be a bit more subtle?
That's another good question, because that's another one we get a lot. And I would say, like, just bear in mind it is Vegas and it's like the party capital, and you know, like, you want to make an effort. Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of the British clientele anyway, we generally do like to dress a bit more smarter, but you don't have to go, you know, like shirt, tie and all that sort of stuff. No. But we generally just say, look, smart casual. If you want to wear brand, you can do that. If you want to wear like designer trainers or trainers, you can do. But just, I mean, just stay away from wearing like hats, basketball tops to the pool parties as well. Nightclubs, stay away from like air bubble trainers and stuff like that. And basically just sportswear really. Yeah. Like you don't want to go down the road of wearing sportswear to any of the venues. No. So yeah, that's basically what I would say. Keep it smart casual. Stag do's and hen do's got to be a bit careful as well with wearing the real, you know, I've had guys turn up in like G-strings and shit. I
was gonna say like stag do generally costumes, not. Is that like
it's not. I usually say, like, if you're gonna do that sort of thing, bring the costumes with you to get changed inside, because sometimes when you walk up to the doors, you know, like the security don't really like that vibe, because it's, you know, it's sending out the wrong message for the venue. But once you're inside, you can get away with it a little bit easier.
Nice.
I've seen all sorts, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure you have. Yeah, we can get into some stories. Do you know what I mean? But the other thing then...
we will get into some stories. What about them guys that commented on the last episode that reached out? And they were saying,
Before we touch on that, I was just going to say a little bit of a breakdown, between the difference of like a promoter and a host.
Okay, that's a good one.
Going on this theme of like a pool party nightclub vibe, I thought from a conclusion point, I'd say, it depends on how long you're out there for and which way round you want to do it. It depends on the artist, but overall, I'd say both are good. But from a promoter / to a host, would you say is like the difference? Because there's a lot of venues out there that have their own promoters, obviously, that work for them. Yeah. And obviously from what we do on the concierge side is we actually have a personal VIP host that can cater towards you. Yeah. I'm just seeing if we could touch a little bit more on that. Yeah,
mate, honestly, I'm glad you said that one, because a lot of people don't actually understand the difference between a promoter and a host. So just to let people know, like, a promoter is more someone who works for the venue, who stands on the strip and gives out like free entry tickets so you can get into the venues, but you do have to queue, and you have to be there at a certain time, usually sort of like 10, half 10, like when the doors open. And then the host, the VIP host, is what more of what we do. We sort of host the group, as in like we book the VIP tables and the cabanas, the bungalows, and yeah, we more host the group, getting them into the venue so they don't have to queue, making sure everything's set at their table when they arrive. And yeah, just work on the basis of mainly the table and the sections rather than, you know, general admission.
Yeah, what I've noticed a lot with promoters is the fact that they'll say to people, because obviously they can do a bottle service as well, but what they usually say is, we'll get you on the guest list and that's free, because you usually at a venue have to pay a general admission ticket. And as much as it's nice to be getting in for free, you still have to queue up in that guest list queue.
Yeah, and also as well, like sometimes
you skip
like,
the queue.
Yeah, that's the one of the main reasons why people book with us as well. But the other thing is, a lot of the time the promoters on the strip will give you these cards and say you can go into the venue for free. But if you literally turn up late, or if they've oversold the event, then it's one of them things where they do lock off the guest list at a certain time. So if you arrived at the time they told you to, but you don't get to the front of the queue until the time they lock it off, then you still won't get in.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to, this depends on the capacity, and it depends if they're allowing people to pay to get in or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just another option that people have got. Like, you know, most of the groups, well, all of the groups we look after, obviously, they prefer doing the, you know, the whole itinerary with us. It's a one-stop shop. They're looked after. If there's any problems getting in, they can just call us, or we'll, you know. So it's, you know, from my experience, more if they've got the budget, they prefer to do the table service side of things.
Yeah, I was going to say the fact that I've even done the hosting for you as well, it does give that more personable feel to it. Do you know what I mean? One of the groups that I hosted, I met them at a bar in Luxor, and do you know what I mean? We had a beer together, so they then have a name to a face. They got to know me a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, so what's our schedule for Tower Beach Club and this place and blah blah." Do you know what I mean? And then break it down. Oh yeah, we're also going over to what's the place in Mandalay Bay called? I've forgotten it already.
What's that? The club?
The day club. Sorry,
day club. That's you're talking about Daylight.
Daylights, yes. Yeah.
Daylight,
so
Daylight
Tower
Beach
Beach,
Club,
they had Daylight. Do you know what I mean? That we met up in the bar. Like I said, we had a drink. That we spoke about everything. They're like, okay, make sure we get for this time. Then I can get you jump straight in. It was actually quite cool to be the host, to go around, see their table, being like, right, they're at table, whatever number it was. Go over there and they say, oh yeah, Brunty, we're here. Perfect. I walk out with the security guard. They unclip it for them and they're like, bro, you've just got us straight in. I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah, Brunty Vegas has got you.
You did a great job, Brunty, man. I'll be honest. Like,
and feeling that from being, like I said, a client of yours anyway, and then also being a host, I got to see both sides. And it's so cool that you have that connection, that relationship with them out there. So.
Yeah. And then obviously, like, if you want to do something after that, so it's like you went to the beach club, and if there's something after, a lot of the time those promoters you've met on the strip are not going to be there to sort of like, you know, take you to the next step of your trip, or if you want to do anything after. But yeah, it's just a preference thing, mate. But that is the difference. So hopefully we've summed that up between a promoter and a host. What else we got on the agenda, big dog?
So there's a couple of stories that some people have sent in.
Story time. Is that what we're going to call this section? Story time.
Story time, something like that.
So guys, if you've been to Vegas before, you know someone who has, and you've got some really like funny, interesting stories, please feel free to send them through to us. We'd love to hear them, and obviously we might, as we're going to do now, showcase a few on the show. So
so someone who wants to remain anonymous, let's call him Pete.
Pistol Pete.
He wants to know about footballer stories, on the fact that they've been clients, and they want to know, like, what was the whole fiasco on some of these footballers. That
like footballers, like they generally come out in this sort of first or second week in June, notoriously, and obviously because the season's still going on up until the end of May. So then the season finishes, the manager says, "Yeah, go and do your thing for a few weeks, and then you're back into training." So we generally find footballers come out the first 2 weeks in June, maybe sometimes the first 3 weeks, but. Yeah, that's not something I can really go into, Brunty, too much. But I will give an example of like what how they do things. But I mean, obviously not all of them spend ridiculous money. But I mean, I remember when I first started. I think I was only. This was when the team was quite small. It was just me, my missus, and I think we had Edwin. Like he was. I don't know if you're familiar with Edwin or not. If you ever met him.
I don't know if I've met him, to be fair.
Yeah, but he was like helped me in the early days. But anyway, this was at Wet Republic. So we've gone to Wet Republic. Sick. Yeah, and then we booked the bungalows and stuff like that. And then there was 2 footballers there. One of them we was looking after, we was with, and then there was another rival team footballer, not directly next to us, but the bungalow next to that. So it was like our bungalow, then a bungalow in the middle, and then his bungalow. Oof. And to cut a long story short, like a spend off started. So this footballer like got the waitresses to come out of all the bottles and that, and he did like a 1-0. So
I like that,
I won't say, I mean, so it's like that, and then everyone was like, "Oh, mate, you're gonna have that?" Blah blah blah. Bearing in mind, these are 2 rival London clubs.
Were they?
Yeah. Okay. And at the time, he was even worse. So he's done 1-0, and everyone's like, "Mate, come on, you can't have that." Blah blah blah. And then so he's done a bottle show, 1-1,
the banter,
and it was back and forth all day. Yeah, and nice. And I remember, I think one of the last shows, the waitresses, because they were trying to top each other each time. And I remember one of them, like the waitresses come out and they had a bath filled with champagne bottles. Yeah, they were just coming out. One of the waitresses was like sitting on the end of the bath, and the bath was getting rolled out full with champagne. Yeah, and then at that point, I think it was like 4-3. Yeah, and it was just mad. That's just sometimes how it can get, as you can imagine. Yeah. Like they've finished the season and they're coming out to let their hair down. So that was epic. I think their bill, individually was well over 100,000 each.
Wow.
So yeah, man, that's crazy. So I hope Pistol Pete, that answered your question a little bit, mate, without naming any names.
Yeah, of course. We have to have some kind of...
we've got to keep it on a down low, really.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. You book with us, you secret safe with us, yeah?
That's it.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You knew we had to drop that at one point.
It's got to be done. The other story I wanted to touch on, what's this baller hide story in Bellagio?
Oh, right. Yeah. That was... I
want to hear this.
That was like a regular client, and he hit me up and he was like, "Oh, Steve, I've just won. I'm in Vegas. I've just won quite big in the casino. Like, where's there to go tonight?"
Did he say how much he won?
He didn't tell me the exact figure now, but I knew it was big numbers because he's one of the like big gamblers out there.
Fair.
And I was like, "Where are you?" And he goes, "I'm in the Bellagio." So I was like, "All right, cool. I'm just round the corner. I'll be over soon. We'll go to Hyde."
Yeah.
So obviously, like Hyde's closed now. For those that don't know, it's reopened as Mayfair Supper Club, which is a restaurant basically, but they do like live cabaret and whatever else. But for the last, I think that opened like 2-3 years ago, Mayfair Supper Club. But before that, it was Hyde, which was a nightclub. So I've said, yeah, no worries, meet me here, we'll go through. So we bypassed like this massive queue that was going all the way through because it was like a special night they were doing.
Wow.
But this particular presentation that he ended up booking because he won so much money in the casino was like $250,000.
What?
Yeah. So he come in, he was like, "Steve," and literally this bottle that come out was like 70 litres, Ace of Spades, gold bottle, and it was getting wheeled out. Like if you just bought a new fridge or something, and they bring the fridge in on one of those wheelies.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what they're called, but so this bottle came out on one of them, bro, yeah. And literally there was enough in there for like a glass of champagne for literally everyone in the club.
No
and then
way.
how it worked, he paid 250,000, but he got to choose a song of his choice that the DJ would play. And on top of that, on top of that, because obviously it was all open just right by the Bellagio fountains.
Yeah.
So once he pushed the button, the Bellagio fountain started and played in the rhythm to his song that he chose.
That's
that the DJ was playing. So the DJ put the tune on, and then the Bellagio fountain is in the background, and he's got this massive 70 litre of champagne. So that's just, that's a story that was just off the cuff as well. There was nothing really going on that night. And then, he just come out the blue and was like, I want to drop some dough. So we just made it happen.
But he made it a story.
Yeah, it was mad. And do you know what the thing is? And you got to respect these sort of guys. Like they're big ballers and that, but they don't want to flaunt it. They don't want to be behind the camera. They don't want to, like people, on social media and stuff like that. He didn't want no one filming him, blah, blah, blah. He just wanted to have fun himself. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're in Vegas and you've won money, you're going to spend it there anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, 250,000 is a bit excessive, bro. But
like I said, it's a story, right?
Yes, but he could have, he didn't tell me. I didn't ask him, to be fair, but it could have been, he could have won like a fair few million that night. So, and it happens.
What I've always found as well, because we are UK based, a lot of the people that go from the UK, they'll obviously get a bit of cash. They'll have their card on them and whatever. They might even get a prepaid card. But when I've gone to have a bit of a gamble and I've won, not 250 grand, but like, if I won a couple of hundred or whatever.
He could have bought a flatter for that. But he decided to drop it in Bellagio on a fucking Tuesday night or whatever it was. I think it might have been a Thursday, but yeah.
But what I was going to say is that even if I've won like a bit of money, because you're out there and it's all in dollars, you're going to spend it anyway because of the conversion rate. So even if you won like $1,000, you could bring that back. But someone like myself goes out there all the time. So there's no point in converting it back to UK money. And if you only go in Vegas for the once, well, if you've won a couple $100, you're going to spend it there because, like I said, if you only bring a couple of $100 back, you then got to try and convert it in that.
I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of the casinos, like they make you, we're running out of time, bro. We've got like 50 minutes nearly.
Yeah.
We better sum it up. But what I was going to say, I think that's why a lot of casinos give you the chips instead of leaving you to pay cash. Because once you've got chips, you're more inclined to put it back on and just gamble it rather than going over to the cashier and getting it all changed up again. You just like, I'll put another bet on. So it's all like, it's all swings and roundabouts really. But you do see some sites out there. Yeah,
there's going to be more of this going to be covered, but I thought it's a nice little episode just to dive in a little bit about, the different venues of the day clubs and nightclubs, promoters and hosts, and some few stories to cover off, and obviously our weekly news.
Well, your weekly news is good, mate. It's honestly like, stay tuned, guys, because we've got so much more to come. We should definitely make a part of it like we've done now, dedicated to stories from clients and people that have been out before, because it's quite it's quite funny, isn't it?
It is good funny, and we have a few stories ourselves, but how we'll reveal that we'll have to decide. But
exactly, what else have we got? I'm just trying to think, was there anything else we needed to cover?
Last little part is just to make sure that you guys know about the giveaway that we're going to be doing as well, so make sure you like, comment and subscribe.
Stay tuned for that one. That's going to be, you can win a free holiday. And that is actually a real giveaway. That's not like people, online making out they're giving away stuff and they don't. We're actually going to give that away on probably the live or, we could even go live on one of these podcasts, I suppose, and do it there.
There you go. So you're getting an exclusive there.
So that's a good one. Yeah, I think when we do decide to drop it, we'll leave it a couple of weeks to get all the entries, and then we'll go live on one of these pods and release the winner there. So
we'll do like a random number generator or something. But
if anyone wants to get involved, or they want to be featured, or if there's any other collaborators that want to get involved, want to jump on the pod, any guests that want to feature, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to hear from you and have you on.
100%. So where can everybody find us, Steve?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the website, www.vipvegasuk.com, at VIPVegasUK on all the socials. Just reach out on one of those really, it'd probably be the easiest. We've got obviously the business line, which is 02031 500 488. Email address info@VIPvegasUK.com.
Perfect. And if you want to follow me, I'm just Brunt Vegas all over socials.
My personals at Stevie J UK. So we should put them down on the screen maybe around here somewhere.
It'll all be links in the description as well. But
yeah, man.
Thank you for tuning into the VIP Vegas podcast. I'm Brunt Vegas.
I'm Stevie J. Thanks for listening, guys, and thanks for watching. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Peace.